The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week with your host, Tomasz Fonseca, and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business. From $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters at Real Estate Marketing, Harbour SEO.
Welcome to the Icons of Real Estate. I'm Tim Calloway. We have a very special guest for you today from the great state of Virginia, David Harbour. David is a real estate agent with eXp Realty. David's been a full-time agent for 24 years. He's also served on the board of directors of the Dallas Area Association of Realtors, launched eXp Realty in Virginia, and became the state's broker in 2011. He is also the founder of a Dance-A-Palooza, which is a charity event which raises money for local charities. Love to hear about that. But two fun facts about David. Not only has he summited Kilimanjaro, he's also summited Mount Rainier here in the United States. Welcome to the show, David. That's some interesting stuff there for sure.
Hey, guy. Timothy. Well, hey, just, trying to do my thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's start at the beginning. I know a little bit about your background, but our listeners obviously want to know. Tell us how you got started or what you did before you got into real estate.
Okay. Well, I graduated from the University of Illinois, and I was lucky enough to play a little football there. And I wasn't sure if I was good enough to make it to the next stage. But I got an opportunity to sign as a free agent with the Redskins, and played there for a couple of years. Ended up playing in NFL Europe over in London. Won a world championship there, which was fun. And then my last stop was with the Steelers, and then it was time to hang it up due to injury. But almost immediately, I got back into sports. I was a director of sales for Washington Sports and Entertainment. So I worked in the NBA and NHL with Mr. Poland for the Wizards.
Wizards, yeah.
Yep, and the Capitals, and did that for 5 wonderful years. And there was a crossroad where I was either going to go down possibly to the Orlando Magic organization or get into real estate. And it was at that juncture that I thought, I never want to have a boss again for the rest of my life. So I got into real estate. Yeah.
Nice. So that journey's been obviously very exciting. I know you got some real numbers behind you, not only, in homes sold, but in number of agents as well. So tell me about that journey a little bit. How do you go about finding agents? How do you go about recruiting agents? And then what are your prerequisites, to work with you?
Yeah, well, it's been an interesting journey. I, like many other agents, I was out there selling. I started out at Weichert and then gradually moved on to Remax, and I was there for 12 wonderful years and doing my thing. I'm not sure if it's in your notes there, but I had the unique opportunity of being on HGTV on a show called Get It Sold.
Oh, nice.
And so life was going along great. And it was about that time that a friend of mine who I met at one of the Remax conventions, I'll give a shout out to Tom Somerville, said, hey, there's this new company that's coming about. They're very different. They're kind of like Uber. They're kind of like Amazon. And I think they're the next big thing in real estate. Well, at the time, nobody knew who they were. We were only in a handful of states.
Right.
And so when I heard about it, just something in the back of my head, and I always tell people, it was either dumb luck or the grace of God. But I said, I'm leaving Remax to go with this company because I do think that they're the next evolution in real estate. And I'm agent 50, and we're now at, I think, 87,000 agents.
Right. Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. So,
yeah.
No, I'm 52 years old, but we tend to be the old men on the block now, right? I mean, that's that way internally, right?
I don't feel it on the inside. Exactly. When I look in the mirror on the outside,
it's happening. But, hey, nowadays, David, we're gonna live to 100. I've been told that, I've been told that 100 times, so it must be true, right?
Yeah. So, well, as long as we keep this going, but yeah.
Right, for sure. So, when you're looking for realtors, or when realtors come to you and say, "Hey, I'm looking to get into the business," do you tend to look for more seasoned realtors, or are you just across the gamut? Here's our program. Here's what we do. Here's the entry.
Yeah, if I could just back it up,
Yeah.
you like Tim or Timothy?
Tim's fine. Yeah.
Tim. So the reason that attracted me to EXP was it had this unique business model. And I realized as a real estate agent, I did a poor job, as many of my colleagues do. They don't look at the business model. And we're taught to teach people to build equity through buying homes. But yet we as agents are renting, in a sense, our license if we're with a franchise or a brick and mortar. And so this concept to me that Glenn Sanford started was it was different. It was something that wasn't out there, that you can build equity in your business. So to get back to your thing, I just share people, that message of, if you were to leave your brokerage today, would you get anything?
Yeah.
And 99% of them say no. I know that when I left my brokerage, there was nothing, no gold watch, no. But here it's a game changer that you get to actually share in the revenue. You get stock. You talked about your boys, they went off to college and out in the working world. I have two young boys, Max and Lucas. And the stock that was given to me from this company is paid for their college education, and then
that's fantastic.
So yeah, it's not a hard sell. It's just oftentimes agents are very loyal to their brand and they're loyal to their broker, but they don't look at the business model.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, you're an entrepreneur, right? I mean, you're an entrepreneur running your own business, putting your shingle, but you're not alone, right?
Right.
I mean, I think that's how, if I were in that position, I would have to look at it.
And I don't want to knock any other agents. It's often, maybe it's not the right fit for you, but often we are just, I like the coffee in my brokerage. I like my broker. He's my friend, but it's not the best business model that's going to help them with their family. Getting to your question, I don't care if you're a brand new agent, because we have a wonderful mentor program that partners you with a veteran agent. If you're an individual agent that's doing 5 to 10 million, or if you're a mega team, I often say that this brokerage is a lot like, Bruce Lee. I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu and I love martial arts. And he said, act like water. This company it acts like water, in the sense that whatever stage you're at, we have a wonderful position for you here.
Right. Oh, that's fantastic. I love to hear it. So let's talk about what's going on in real estate right now. I mean, not to drag it around too much. I talk to a lot of folks every day, and we've got 2 more Fed meetings, I think, this year, and we've seen some stimulus in the interest rates. How are things in Virginia, and what do you prognosticate?
First of all, I don't want to prognosticate.
Put you on the spot pretty quick there, didn't I?
No real estate Nostradamus here. But I will say that I've been around long enough that I've seen it go at its high and its lowest low. And it's just a really funny time now, Tim. I'm sure that you know that. I would say probably it's one of the fastest changes I've seen, at least in our area, from giving 17 offers to now you're seeing days on the market, and it happened within 4 months.
Right. Yeah. I think, I don't know if for good, for better, for worse, or for good as in time, that the days of having an open house and people lining up, taking a number, to me, in my life, getting into business in the early 90s, 91, getting into business, I've never seen anything like that. That was an anomaly, and it felt like an anomaly. So I have to believe it was one. I mean, I just can't imagine life would be so different. Everybody would be a realtor. That's my opinion.
Right.
I mean,
Shooting fish in a barrel, right?
shooting
If you
fish
can
in a barrel.
fog a mirror, you can
I
make
get
lots of
one
money.
listing, right? Get a listing, sell a listing, get a listing, sell a listing, get a listing, sell a listing. I worked on Wall Street and everybody became a trader at one point, everybody was a trader, but the reality is, most people who are day trading don't make a lot of money and it's a mirage. So anyhow, so we talked about how you got into the industry. We talked about today a little bit, let's talk about the future. So what are the goals, the plans, the expectations for David and what's going on with him right now?
Wow, that's such a big, vast question.
Let me hear put your blueprint out.
I want to take painting lessons. No.
That's awesome. Let's talk about that. That's what I want to hear. David painting.
That's a great question, Tim. I love doing what I'm doing. And my focus is shifted a little bit. I still sell, I still have clients, and because I love it, but there's a different feel to it when you don't have to do it as opposed to you want to do it. And that's based on EXP's revenue sharing, model for residual income. So, I get the best of both worlds in the sense of I get to sell, but I also get to help agents maybe look at a new model and introduce them to this company that oftentimes I say it's your last brokerage because you don't want to leave.
Yeah.
So, my wife is a chemical engineer and way smarter than I am, but
that's over my head. I don't know.
She's jealous of me because I tell her I love what I do. I don't see me ever retiring.
David, you got to crack up at that. Well, maybe you'll crack up. Maybe you won't. I always joke. I have 4 sons actually, and I always say I'm going to start the 4 sons or more podcast. But what's really funny is, you say your wife's a chemical engineer and you have, sons paying for their college. And what's really funny is my wife is a high position in her company and does very well. And we have similar conversations like you. But what's really great is when your sons or your children, doesn't have to be just sons or daughters, kind of surpass you, in that mental capacity area where they are just so full of knowledge, and it's a really great feeling as a dad, right? I mean, we're getting off topic a little bit, but
no, you're gonna make me cry here because
that was my goal at the beginning, David.
Thanks. Yeah, is that what it is? Is this an Oprah movement? I went to 4 different high schools and I moved around a lot.
Same here, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of my greatest accomplishments, I don't know if it's an accomplishment, but one of the things that I'm most satisfied about is my boys will be in the same home, go to the same school district from the time that they were in kindergarten till the time they graduate high school. And I'm awesome. So full of joy in that, the stability that they have. But I couldn't say it any better than what you said. They are surpassing me intellectually, physically. I just coming from professional sports. I get free tickets to the Redskin games, and I can go anytime. I would rather go to their sporting events.
Oh, any day,
1,000% of the time than some Super Bowl. Yeah,
any day.
So
I can't believe you went to 4 high schools, because I'm one of the few people ever that say that and people don't believe it. And I go, oh, no. And as a matter of fact, when I was a kid in Corpus Christi, Texas, I went to the same school 3 different times, moving back and forth. And that was just the nature of my then stepdad in the
same
industry
here.
that he was in. And I didn't really know any different. I thought everybody was like that. And
I ran the gamut too, because I went to a military school my freshman year.
Right.
I went to a Catholic Chaminade. Then I went to a private school, American Heritage, and then public school back up in Illinois in St. Charles. So 4 different types of schools.
That is crazy.
Not because I was kicked out, though.
What's that?
Not because I was kicked out.
I always either preface it or at the end I say the same thing. I go, I wasn't kicked out. It wasn't anything. It wasn't my fault. Next thing you know, I'm in a therapist chair telling the therapist, it wasn't my fault.
It wasn't my fault.
And they're patting me on the head. It wasn't your fault. Uh, good stuff, man. Really good stuff. Well, let me ask you this. If anybody, I like to do two things towards the end of our podcast. And
Yeah.
obviously one, if any agent wants to give you a shout, give you a call and give you a talking to about what they could do. Or if there are any buyers, sellers, or need a listing in the area, how would they get in touch with you?
That's wow, Tim, you're teeing it up for me. So I keep it simple, davidgethome.com.
Okay.
That's on my license plate, get home.
Nice.
I like to tell people get home or I want to get home. And then for EXP, if anybody is interested, I would, I just signed up somebody this week that I talked to 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And I would say, know what it is that you're turning down before you turn it down. And so there's probably a lot of people out there that have heard about our model and go, I've heard everything, and I'll guarantee you haven't. So they can go to bestbrokeragemodel.com, and that'll take, some all my contact information, and we can have a confidential chat. I'd love to talk to you.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I assume that includes folks. Do you also include talking to folks that maybe haven't got into real estate yet?
Well, anybody that's interested in real estate, I want to talk to them. Absolutely. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, another thing I like to do, Dave, sometimes we don't get to cover everything that, maybe you wanted to talk about, but I always give you the last word. And, the guest, the last word. It's your show. I'm just the facilitator. I'm like the old DJ, I just play the records and then, move on. But, anything that you want to, I'll give you the last word. Anything you want to bring up? You want to talk about Dance-A-Palooza even, whatever's close to your heart or you feel needs to be said, and have at it.
Well, our fearless leader, Glenn Sanford, said that, you'll get back in kind what you give to other people. And he's instilled that in us. That's what our company is built on, of helping other agents, not just signing them up, but helping them get to where they want to go. But that includes your community too. And so I get a feeling of helping somebody, and that includes, we do a charity event. I'm a terrible golfer, and I came up with this idea of, we're going to have a DJ, we're going to have a glow party, and we're going to raise thousands of dollars. We bring in some Redskin memorabilia to auction off and stuff. And basically, for the last few times, we've done the Loudon Abused Women's Shelter, but we've also done the Loudon First Responders. Basically, it's a fun night. People my age get to go out, and we have a fun DJ, and we call it Dance-A-Palooza, and it's a glow party, and we have a great time. But it raises money for great causes in your local community. That's it. But I think that is one of the best things that you can do for your soul,
right,
your family, and your business, is by giving back.
I 100,000% agree. I think the day I woke up and figured out the for others mentality, if you've gone to a Catholic or a Jesuit school, you'll know the for others mentality pretty well. And the day that I woke up and realized I need to focus on that more than the focus on me, your life will change, and your life will change for all the things you ever wanted, for the most part, just because doing for others means so much. And I agree, it's for the soul. David, it's been great having you on the show. I'd like to have you again sometime and have a follow-up and, see where you are at another time. How's that sound?
Tim, I'm open. My dance card's open. So yeah, absolutely. Love to talk with you.
There you go. David, thanks so much for being on the show, and we'll talk to you soon.
Got it, Tim. You have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thanks again.
All right.